Welcome back to the old Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting app. It's Thursday, so a new episode's here for you guys. I had the full intention of unboxing my Macho Man WWE Superstars figure on video, mostly because he's the tag at the end of the episodes. But I figured, who wants to watch me open a figure? If you do, let me know in the comments, because I can still do that. But I had a question for you, and here comes the throwdown for the Thursday. Who is your favorite Babyface champion? Cody Rhodes has finished his original story and taken the title from Roman Reigns and is now the face of the company. He's the good guy. He's the guy who can shed a tear. He hugs all the babies. He shakes all the hands. He's the Babyface champ. And we just came off a very long run of Roman Reigns being what I would consider a very good heel champion. He did all the right heel things, so much so that people wanted him to lose. Even if they didn't know why they wanted him to lose. They're like, oh, he doesn't wrestle enough. He's, holding on to the title too long. That's a heel thing to do. So he was a very good heel champ. And all praise was well-deserved when Cody said, thank you, Roman, on the Raw after Mania. And Roman got a bunch of chants saying thank you, Roman, because he did hold up the company for quite a while. But now it is the Rhodes time to walk with that title. And we're coming up on Backlash this Saturday, where he'll be facing off against AJ Styles, who is a pseudo heel at the moment. In the best shape of his life. That dude, I don't know what he did. He's cut up now. So good on you, AJ Styles. But Cody is your Babyface champion. I was sitting here thinking, who is my favorite Babyface champion? Because I find heel champs to be more interesting. Heels have all the fun, they always say. They can do more things. They can talk trash. They can cheat. They can go avenues, go ways that you can't go as a babyface. Think of Star Wars. The Sith are infinitely more interesting than the Jedi because they can do things that you want to see someone do with those powers, right? All the electricity powers, Sith. Darth Maul, Sith. They can do everything a Jedi can do, plus cooler stuff. Their lightsabers are cooler. Let's just be honest. The Sith are cooler. Jedi are good. They don't get as many cool powers. But, they're aligned to the side of good, so you kind of go with the Jedi. Fine. Heels and babyfaces in wrestling are the same way. Babyfaces can't do all the things that heels can do, except when you have when you have babyfaces like The Rock and Stone Cold. So I grew up in an era, the Attitude Era. Well, I didn't grow up in that era. I was around for the Attitude Era, and champs like Stone Cold and The Rock were babyfaces, but they were super over, and they had an edge to them. The entire Attitude Era was just full of champs with edges. They all were cheered. They all were technically babyfaces, but there was just something about them that gave them the ability to kind of go between, heel and babyface. Austin, everyone calls Austin a tweener. Am I right? Do people call Austin a tweener? I don't think so. I think he's always been a babyface, except for when he was explicitly a heel. When he was the comedy angle, when he was part of ECW and WCW Invasion. That whole run with him, teamed with McMahon, very specific heels. But whenever he was against McMahon and, he was Stone Cold, he was a babyface at all points. But he got to do things that heels did. And it had a lot to do with his character. It had a lot to do with who Austin was as a person. But he was a good guy, right? You can't stun your boss and not get a pop, right? Who doesn't want to do that? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Babyfaces can't necessarily, Cody Rhodes is not going to go out and give a crossroads to Triple H because, one, everyone loves Triple H right now, and two, that would make him a heel. I don't know if he can pull that off. So my question was, who has been your favorite babyface champ in whatever era you want? You can go all the way back to people I've never heard of to, more recently, right before Roman Reigns or whatnot, or Cody Rhodes. Let me know. Like I see a lot of people call John Cena their favorite champ, and he was a babyface for an extremely long time. Most of his run as like the John Cena brand was a babyface. It was the quote unquote Fruity Pebbles version of him. And I've seen people say that that is the John Cena they grew up with. That's the John Cena they remember. And for them, he's the GOAT, right? And he was a babyface the entire time. He got booed relentlessly as a babyface. He caught a lot of heat for not turning heel, but you can't deny the impact he had on the business. And I feel like it's not until now that we look back and you go, okay, yeah, John Cena was a good champ. He was a good company prototype champion, and he held the title really well, and he's a consummate professional, right? He did everything he was supposed to do. I was not a big fan of John Cena's run, but only because maybe I was a little older and more cynical. Because the people I see who say that they love John Cena now, they're 10, 12, 15 years younger than me, and I can tell that they were kids when he was running around. So I get it. But that's why I said my favorite babyface champs are guys like Stone Cold, guys like The Rock, guys like Kane, Undertaker, those dudes who had like an edge. Like Kane was a good guy for a very long time. Specifically when he had the championship. When he won that championship, he was, if I remember correctly, a babyface. But he was also the big red machine, set fire to the ring, chokeslammed everybody, had an edge, right? He didn't do anything very particularly good, but he didn't really do anything bad either. But he had that edge, right? That's why it was the Attitude Era. Everyone had that edge. And there's a reason why everyone says they love the Attitude Era, because everyone had something like that thing. It's coming back now too with this new era. People are finding that edge a little bit more, or they're at least getting over for different reasons, I think. But I say all that to say, Cody Rhodes doesn't have an edge at all. He has that fighting spirit. He has that underdog thing. I read a comment on a video that said Cody Rhodes looks like an anime version of an American superhero. And I was like, nailed it. That's a really good assessment of Cody Rhodes. He's very morally straight. I don't know how to classify. Like, I don't foresee Cody doing anything remotely Stone Cold-esque. Mostly because that's just not who he is. He is much closer to John Cena than he is to The Rock or anyone like that. And you can tell by his promo, you can tell by the way he carries himself, you can tell by how grateful he is for everything. And now, because the lines of kayfabe have been blurred quite a bit, his off-air persona and his on-air persona kind of bleed together. And you can tell Cody Rhodes is a genuinely nice dude. I can see it in his eyes. The man loves his family, the man loves his fans, and that's coming out as a champ. So I'm hoping he can find the edge in his own personality, right? Like right now, I feel like he's capturing fans through his vulnerability, through his willingness to be, emotional in front of people. He's kind of grabbing that leash and kind of tugging on it, which is good. Find that leash, find that edge through that. But the reason I bring it up is because as we're moving through his championship run, he's going to need to find a way to be something a bit more than a very dominant babyface, because I feel like dominant heels work better because they get to cheat, because they're not looking to overcome anything. They're looking to dominate. The reason Cody Rhodes' story was so impactful and engaging is because he had to overcome so many things. The bloodline was in his way, then The Rock showed up, and he had to get his crew together to watch his back to get to WrestleMania. And if you look before that, he was like coming off a loss at WrestleMania, and he had to work his way back to Royal Rumble and then win the Royal Rumble. And like, there's a lot of steps to his journey of him like overcoming obstacles to get to the championship. And I always said, once he won the title, that was end credits, right? That was end of the movie. The credits roll, freeze frame, he's on everyone's shoulders holding the belt. But now we're on the other side of that. It's like, what do you do with Cody now, right? So I want to know who your favorite babyface champion. Why? What was it about them that kept you engaged? Because I'm not super engaged with babyface champions all the time. Seth Rollins kind of did it. I think they booked him poorly with the title, but his persona was a little bit more Attitude Era-esque, where he was very flamboyant. He was very, what's the word? Self-centered and prideful. Like, he had a lot of just human emotions, as a babyface, but he was a good guy, right? So you were more engaged and enthralled with his character than how they booked it. I need Cody to have a new obstacle, right? And it's hard to have an obstacle when you're the guy who everyone is chasing after, right? Like, he's swatting people down the mountain versus climbing up and knocking people out of his way. So it's possible to write those stories, but I want to see where this is headed, right? He's going up against AJ Styles at Backlash. It's going to be a good match. Obviously, AJ Styles doesn't have particularly bad matches that I've ever seen. And Cody Rhodes, same way. Cody Rhodes can sell, and AJ Styles can fly. So it's going to be a fun day in Paris, France. Is it Paris? I know it's France. Is it Lyon? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. So that'll be fun. But what is after that? Like, I've already seen people saying they're tired of Cody and his run, but I say you need to give the man some room to grow and some room to find his stride as the face of the company. Remember, Roman Reigns came in hot as a heel, and he held that for quite a while, but he had the runway to kind of work that character and build it into something and kind of build it up. And they're now, what I would assume, positioning Roman to come back as a babyface when the bloodline is kind of running rampant all by themselves. He's going to come back to pretty thunderous applause whenever he shows up. So we'll see how that works into Cody's story, right? Like, is he coming back for another title match? Is he coming back to dismantle the bloodline? Who knows? I don't know. But Cody's going to need his Joker. It was Roman. Now he needs somebody else. Who is that? I don't know. But all I can say is that Rock and Stone Cold hold very strong positions in my mind as great babyfaces who held the title. Let me know in the comments who your favorite babyface champ was. Thank you so much for listening or watching, or what it's watching, because it's not audio version of this. Thank you for sitting with me on this Thursday. And don't you ever forget,
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah!